Hello friends, welcome to Beast Recap. I'm your host. Loki and Sylvie got trapped at the end of the time. So they decided to escape from that place and going to find the real creator of TVA organization. Today the television series I'm going to explain is a Loki, Season 1 Episode 5. Action adventures and fantasy TV series from 2021, Episode 5. In the opening, after being vanished, Loki awakens and finds 4 different versions of himself: classic, boastful, kid, and alligator Loki. Loki asks where he is as he stands up. Classic alerts Loki that they must leave since a huge smoke-like monster is moving towards them. The 5 Lokis run away as the creature roars at them. Sylvie asks Ravana to give her tempad in the Timekeeper's chamber. When asked who is behind the TVA, Ravana replies that she has no idea. When Sylvie points out that Ravana's reality has been destroyed, she responds by saying that Loki is still alive. She says that the reason she's freely giving this information to Sylvie is that she too is curious about who runs the TVA and who lied to her. Sylvie lowers her rod, and Ravana implements that when the TVA prunes a branch of reality, it's impossible to completely obliterate its matter. They send it to the void, the place where reality collides and time ceases, at the end of time. Beyond, the Timekeepers are transforming reality into utopia, or so the dogma has it. Sylvie is told by Ravana that nothing ever returns from the void and that she may help her if she have her trust in her. Sylvie gives Ravana her tempad back after giving it some thought. The 5 Lokis move away from the entity in the void, and Loki requests at them to explain what is happening. Kid summons a sword on Loki to get his attention, and then explains that the void is where TVA dumps everything that they vanish. The smoke entity, Alioth, makes sure that nothing comes back. Classic explains that there are so many of them together because Loki survive. The variants explain that there's nothing to do in the void but survive. The variants move on, and Loki asks why Kid gives the orders and what his Nexus event was. Loki turns speechless when the kid says that he killed Thor. The variant reach a hidden bunker and all 6 Lokis go inside. When Classic asks about the reason of Loki's intense desire to visit the TVA, Loki responds that it is because it is where he will fulfill his wonderful mission. Ravana has missed minutes to access restricted files from the archives on the beginning of time and the founding of the TVA. Sylvie says that there is something beyond the void at the end of time and that it is impossible to produce a Nexus event while time is being eaten. Ravana warns that it's impossible to get past the void because there's nothing for the tempad to lock onto, and Sylvie says that they go through the void. When Ravana warns that it is impossible, Miss Minute suggests the prototype Void spacecraft. The AI brings up the file on the spacecraft, and Ravana tells Sylvie that the spacecraft was designed to withstand the void. Ravana suggests that they find the person responsible for TVA and kill him. She offers her hand to Sylvie, who reluctantly takes it. Miss Minute says that the spacecraft documents are buried deep, and Ravana acknowledges that she might not have authorization. Sylvie isn't convinced, and Minutemen break in. Sylvie takes cover and Ravana calls to Sylvie that they know where she hides so she can't run. Ravana suggests that Sylvie come out and they can talk about where the person behind the TVA betrayed Ravana. Ravana instructs the Minutemen to move forward and offers to send Sylvie into a time loop filled with pleasant memories. Sylvie says that she only has one good memory, takes Ravana's tempad, and uses the rod to vanish herself. Ravana tells the Minutemen that Sylvie has vanished away as well and then leaves. The Lokis assemble in the bunker while Boastful boasts about defeating Iron Man and Captain America and acquiring the Infinity Stones. Alligator doesn't believe him, and attacks Boastful when Boastful says that Alligator's Nexus event was eating the wrong neighbor's cat. When Loki asks about how Classic managed to escape from Thanos, Classic responds that he created a projection of himself that Thanos mistakenly believed was murdering Loki. Then Classic hid as debris, drifted in space away from everything, and removed himself from the universe because he realized only pain followed him. He stayed on a remote planet in solitude for a long time, but when he got lonely he left. At that point, the TVA located and arrested him. Classic says that they serve as the god of outcasts, and Loki says that he wants to return to the TVA. He believes that if Alioth lives, he can still kill it and could use their support. As the other Lokis chuckle, Loki turns and leaves in disgust. When he opens the bunker hatch, President Loki and his supporters are already there. Sylvie awakens in an abandoned bus in the void and makes her way outside. Nearby, Alioth comes crashing down, and Sylvie escapes. When it tries to grab her, she uses her enchantment powers on her and gets a brief vision of the end of time beyond the void. She continues running and a pizza delivery truck drives up ahead of her. When it arrives, Sylvie gets in and sees that Mobius is at the steering wheel. Mobius drives away from the chasing Alioth. As the president and his troops enter the bunker, Boastful confesses that he had betrayed other residents, and now he is the king. When President's men draw their weapons, Boastful is shocked that President would betray him, and President's men turn on him. Alligator leaps on President's hand and bites it off, and the President's men attack. Boastful reacts in combat as Classic teleports Kid, Loki, and Alligator away. Outside, Classic complains about the betrayal and realizes that every version of Loki is flawed. Loki insists that nothing can change until the TVA is stopped, and Sylvie is the only one he trusts. When Kid and Classic finally choose to help Loki, Classic says that all they'll do is get Loki to Alioth, and that's as far as they go. After escaping Alioth, Mobius tells Sylvie that he mistakenly believed the TVA to be the good people. Sylvie insists that she did what she had to do, and Mobius apologizes for hunting her like a dog. She figures that Alioth already got Loki, and the only thing that matters is escaping the void and finding out who is behind the TVA. Mobius wonders how they do that, and Sylvie tells him to turn back as it might hold the solution to getting away. Mobius turns the truck around while sighing wearily. The four Lokis get closer to Alioth, and Loki figures they will enter it and destroy it. The USS Eldridge crashes down in front of them, and Alioth goes for it. Loki figures that they can sneak around Alioth while it's occupied with the big meal. As Loki watches Alioth use its touch to destroy the ship and its people, Loki thinks that they need to think about their plans. Loki saw a car coming towards them, and when the truck gets close to them, Mobius parks it, and Sylvie exits to approach the Lokis. Running over to Mobius and Sylvie, Loki asks as to what occurred and introduces the other three Lokis. He says that they plan to kill Alioth, and Sylvie tells him that Alioth is protecting the only way out of the void. She explains that she's going to enchant Alioth. At the TVA, Ravana visits the imprisoned B-15. B-15 asks why she's locked up, and Ravana tells the hunter that she was disloyal to the TVA. The prisoner insists that the people need to know the truth, and Ravana insists that the TVA needs stability. Ravana says that since B-15 had a link with Sylvia, B-15 needs to tell Ravana what drives Sylvie. B-15 tells Ravana that Sylvie will be searching for whoever created the fake timekeepers, and figures that Ravana wants to find whoever is behind the TVA's creation. The hunter says that Ravana will never find the creator before Sylvie does, because Ravana only wants it, but Sylvie needs it. Ravana leaves and asks Miss Minutes to bring her every record on the TVA's formation from the beginning of time. Miss Minutes agrees with Ravana when she says that she needs to track down the TVA's creator because they are in danger. In the void, the group stops in a ruin for shelter, and Mobius admits that he doesn't remember the TVA ever capturing Alligator. Mobius says that he's turning on the thing he devoted his life to, and Kid hopes that Loki and Sylvie know what they're doing. Loki and Sylvie sit outside and Loki conjures a blanket to keep himself warm. He offers to conjure one for Sylvie, and they both agree that Mobius' theory about Sylvie's nexus event of the two of them becoming romantically involved is rubbish and another TVA lie. Sylvie acknowledges that she doesn't have any close friends, but she believes that protecting the universe and bringing down the TVA are more essential goals. Loki makes his blanket appear around Sylvie with a hand gesture. She accepts and tells Loki her thanks. He says it would be his pleasure. When Sylvie asks about how she knows that Loki won't betray her, Loki responds that he has betrayed every person who has ever loved him, and it is no longer who he is. He tells Sylvie that he won't let her down, and Sylvie says that if the TVA is gone, there might be a timeline for Loki to rule. Loki says that then he'd finally be happy, and they both smile. Loki asks Sylvie what she'll do when it's all over, and she admits that she doesn't know. He admits that he is also unsure and offers that they work it out together. Sylvie only says maybe. When the five Lokis and Mobius are seek out of Alioth, Sylvie says that Alioth knows about the location of the TVA's creator. She says that if she can get close enough to it, she will be able to connect to Alioth and it will take het to the whoever is responsible. Sylvie gives Loki the tempad she stole so that he can escape, and Loki says that he's staying and he's going with Sylvie. Mobius gets the tempad from Loki, and Classic and Kid inform him that they will be staying there. Kid offers Loki his blazing sword and Classic says good luck to Loki. As the three variant Lokis go, Mobius summons out a doorway. He tells Loki that he'll burn the TVA to the ground, and thanks Loki for the spark. Loki gives Mobius a hug and shows thanks to his friend, and then Mobius enters the portal. Loki and Sylvie approach Alioth, waiting for a branch. When one doesn't occur, Sylvie informs Loki that they'll need to make a distraction. Loki puts a hand on her shoulder, nods, and runs off swinging the sword to get Alioth's attention. As it moves toward him, Sylvie grabs a smoke tendril and tries to enchant the creature. Alioth continues moving towards Sylvie, and Loki yells at it to follow him. Classic returns and creates a projection of Asgard's buildings, drawing Alioth's attention. Classic uses all of his magic to keep the structure standing as it is being destroyed. Loki joins Sylvie and figures that they're more powerful than they realize. Sylvie and Loki join hands and enchant Alioth, which consumes Asgard, and then the weakened Classic as he yells glorious purpose and laughs triumphantly. Alioth goes to Loki and Sylvie, who successfully scatter it and open a gate leading out of the void. They then walk through together, and this is the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want a recap of all episodes, playlist link in description, go and check it out. And how was the episode 5? Comment below. If you like this video, smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe my channel, and don't forget to follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. Link in description. And if you want any other movie recap video, comment below and I'll see you in the next awesome recap video. Until that, have fun guys.